So, 2 years ago, when I attempted to get help, I had to go to Deputy Hahn, an officer I was trying to turn in. Deputy Hahn, Deputy Hahn, Deputy Hahn. Y'all don't see a conflict of interest of me trying to turn this in to an officer I'm trying to turn in. I got to hear Scott Costa say, "Oh, well, you should have brought it to me." I did bring it to you, motherfucker. What'd you do? You use that to cover for your wrongdoing and for your officer's wrongdoing. Now, what's this big major deal with officers being allowed to leave the force? Officer Hahn is no longer an officer here in the chapel. Unfortunately, much like Waylon Lolatai, he was allowed to just walk away. I wasn't allowed to walk away. I had every resource that I had taken from me for defending myself against actual predators. They wanted to pretend that I'm a bad person for cursing. Cursing? Imagine that. Raping people doesn't make you a bad person. Assaulting an innocent person doesn't make you a bad person. It's cursing that makes you a bad person, right? Holy fuck. Meanwhile, you got no idea how many fucking idiots want to say, "Stop yelling at me, motherfucker. I am speaking to you in a firm tone because you are fucking stupid. This is not the same thing as fucking yelling at you, you stupid piece of shit." Anyway, I got a recording with a lady from the Department of Health and Human Services here. See, these are all the places that you guys have been telling me to call. Well, have you called this place? Yes, I have. Matter of fact, I'm going to play this video. It's about 2.5 hours long, so I'm just going to leave y'all to listen to this shit. Yeah. Over 2 years ago now. Well, no, it's right around 2 years, I guess. Year and a half would have been 2018 that I went to called dhhs to turn in the officers. And guess what? The very officers that I was trying to turn in showed up with her. Now, that should have been recorded. You guys are going to hear from her own voice that getting that information there would take an act of God. How many people have said that to me? Now, Pamela Cardi, when she said it would take an act of God, and Amanda Balehash told me it would take an act of God. Fuck God. God does not belong in our fucking court system. Especially since none of y'all can agree on which God is the right one. Matter of fact, those of you who believe in Jesus can't even stop killing each other over which Jesus do you think is the right one. Holy hell. So you get to hear it from her own words. Now, mind you, I did talk to her again today, and she had looked up Waylon Lolatai. She had also looked up Clearview, and she didn't have very nice things to say. But that doesn't detract from the fact that I still can't do the things that I need to do in order to take care of myself, let alone jump through all of these hoops. See, the damage that they did to me in 2017 and 2018 prevented me from ever having an honest court date again, prevented me from having the money to take care of myself, prevented me from being able to utilize that money to go get the help that I needed. The Bollinger family shouldn't have had to go through a bunch of web wing nuts. I shouldn't have had to go through a bunch of web wing nuts. These web wing nuts obviously did more harm than good. Why the fuck is it that myself and these people all had to go through media outlets and fucking nut jobs who are interested in death. That's all they fucking care about. I mean, oh my God, Shannon Alvarado, super nice lady when she's sober. She's still into some creepy ass shit. How do you think it makes me feel having to go through all this shit and then I'm walking into a house that's filled with Chucky dolls? And she's got a Nazi uniform in her closet that she wants to show off to me. Yeah, that's not going to fly well. And then we get to see all these women posting up all this sexism my entire life. If a man dared say those things, he gets called a sexist, treated like trash. Holy hell. Let's press play and then I'm going to ditch you. Let's go this way, bud. Oh my God. This will also show you, yeah, I did actually talk to her a few years ago about this. I only have a couple of hours of internet to work with.
Hey, John, how are you? That's Tara. Hi, John. You're right. You're right.
Well, man, it's all related to this situation, so I probably should have a good I'm not sure. I brought some stuff to drink.
Okay. You got something to drink?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Well, I'm not going to lock the door, but I'll close it. If you need anything, just call it. Okay.
How are ya? That's better, it sounds like. All right.
Last time we talked about
You're right. You're right.
get it.
Or you.
The whole thing with the telephone with the officers were saying that I'm hoping they had their body cameras on at the time because I can verify that most of the things that they had said are incorrect. So I don't think that it was proper during any of that situation after I tried to get Officer on to do his job. I don't feel it's been appropriate for him or tell horses to be involved.
Downstairs. Good boy. Downstairs.
Pretty cold right now. They also don't understand trade syndrome. A lot of the drug use situations like that exist in America, I'm sure you're well aware. In the line of work that you work in, it's just a lot of drugs, a lot of abuse. It's difficult because they're supposed to be services as a child to help you out, and some of them do, and some of them put you in places where you're not safe. You're in a place where you're supposed to be safe, where the government says, hey, this is where you're supposed to be. And there's also protocols that people are able to use and abuse in order to I'm trying to figure out how to say this the best way.
You say it. You're not going to upset me.
I've had a lot of situations where I really needed the police twist. I've been going to the point where I'm always suicidal. But I'm not trying to kill myself. I'm trying to avoid some unfortunate situations because vigilant. I remember the shower, that kind of stuff. The cost of being falsely accused and then the back protocols for someone they call mentally ill are different and basically takes away all of my civil and human rights. It basically made me a permanent victim because of the situations I'd like to show you. There's, whenever I tell people, they always treat me like I'm crazy, but it's literally been all news in these places that I've been. There was an officer named Layla after my family died, and I'd been trying to get help from my friends and also from the police, and also you guys. I basically called everybody back to trying to get help with the situation, and I did all the things that everybody told me that I needed to do to be able to be protected. I really wanted to tell people more of the stories of what's going on because it was an ongoing thing. It was a lot of gang stalking, a messed up situation where people took a meltdown in the wrong way, and I tried to do the right thing every step of the way, but people were hurting me. When she died, I realized that I got to do something to get the protocol changed because the term mentally ill is too loose of a term and it gives people the wrong, ideas about it, and that is not okay when it comes to law enforcement because there are a lot of autistic people who are sitting in jail just because they had a meltdown over the abuse.
Can I ask you something? So are you diagnosed with autism? I don't recall that from last time. Is that a new diagnosis?
Ma'am, I told them that last time. That's why I'm hoping that their body cameras were on. That's the thing, is that between your memory and
It's not very good.
right? And between my memory and the recordings are more important. And the fact that Officer Hung was there between him and Cody Selhorst and the things that they had done before we met, I was already afraid that Cody Selhorst had already tried to intimidate me and move me down. When I tried to turn it in, I needed someone to be here in prison. But because of small town politics and because of how much what happened to Natalie was all over the news and how many people had been targeted because of it already for trying to help me. And I've got documentation there and paper. The problem is the term mentally ill is way too loose of a term. And the fact that my predators, some of them being officers who decided to do very vigilante things, I've been scared to go to my entire adult life. I already know what happens when you're diagnosed as autistic. And I was told in this case, Sean, you should have gotten that a lot younger and you really should have pursued that. And I tried to explain to the lady what homelessness does and how difficult it is to jump through those hoops, especially when you're making hundreds of calls and nothing has happened and you are literally overwhelmed and shutting down as a result of it, and you know that you're going to have a meltdown. Trying to tell everybody in your life, hey, this is what it's like. I know what your assumptions are, but this is really what it's like. I need you to take a look. I'm trying, but you know as well as I do, most of these people who are parents of autistic children and also adults, that when you try to get those services, it's not so easy. Don't cost figure vouch for the fact that it's
not easy.
It's
It's very hard.
And when you're an adult by yourself, it's not exist. There's a lot of programs that were supposed to be able to help me. And I was supposed to have disability when I turned 18. But the thing is that my dad had an idea of way of work. He thought that I should be able to just walk into the office and get it. And that's asked Graham, I know his name too, he wrote a letter as well about the situation. Him and Laura Nelson were involved. It was my grandmother involved in the situation. At least his grandmother had. For 7 hours, her dad gave no indication that she was alive. And I called 911. I needed something to happen. I needed it to be documented, just like I needed it documented over here before my lady was killed. Before she was killed, I didn't know how to use my technology. A lot of people think that
Wait, what year was she killed?
she was killed in 2017, December. A lot of what's been used on me is protocol of what I can show you the protocol of what it's just me. I can show you the protocol actually between me and the officers. I can show you the protocol when it's having a panic attack and somebody else is there. I can show you what it's like when I'm scared and what it's like when somebody else assumes the wrong thing or is on substances and I'm the one who has to take the punishment for it because of assumptions upon his and that's to understand how scary that is. Also needing a safe place and a safe environment, just like the last time I talked to you. The longer it takes to get that safe environment, the more scared I am in most of the places that I've been. I've only documented the abuse in those places. I've actually recorded it so that I can show that that's what it was like.
So Sean, let me ask you this. What does a safe environment look like to you?
My special interests are important. If I don't have the right scenario, so I have to have a companion animal, and a real dog preferably. But the most important part is that it's a roof over my head. I need to help the person because at this point there is so much that I need to express and show. I can't manage the finances by myself. I can't manage my money by myself. I can't manage my property by myself. I can't get my groceries myself. My back is really screwed up, and the more I have to use it, the more screwed up it gets. I've also got injuries that have occurred from abuse that I've had to endure since Natalie died. They make it quite difficult to take care of myself. I'm not completely, entirely incapable physically of doing these things, but I can't do it for long. I can't do anything heavy, and all of my experience prior to hurting my back was mostly manual labor. I am highly intelligent. I also studied a lot of the effects on the brain growing up with people who were locked up as I was growing up. I definitely read a lot of books, and even as an adult, those are the people I've been trying to help the most. Like 5 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to tell the difference between me and somebody who's autistic, or me and somebody who's neurotypical, which is somebody who's not autistic. I do practice looking people in the eyes. I look in the corner of their eyebrows when I can. But a lot of the things that I had to say was there were police involved, and I was having a panic attack. When I was taken to the hospital, they listened to what the police had to say instead of what I had to say. And the things that I was telling those officers, and the things that I was telling people in the hospital that they picked me as crazy for are true events that happened, and I do have 100% proof of it, and I need people to look at that because I've had to do a lot of very
spell his last name?
G-A-P-A. G-A-N. He's web site. He's got like 3.2 million viewers or something on his YouTube channel. He's a YouTube person.
Okay. So he's not a cop or an attorney or anything like that?
I haven't been able to get a cop to look at the abuse for an attorney to fix my disability, mostly PTSD, not my Fred syndrome. That just makes it worse. But and also it isn't my autism. For the most part, it's people's misunderstanding and me having severe PTSD from abuse. Rob Gaffigan, his thing on YouTube is on Natalie Volunteer, if you write that down. And if you figure there's about 320 million people, there's probably closer to 350 million in the United States. He's got 3.2 million subscribers, so that's around 1 in 100 people. Recognize my face, know who I am, and only know one side of the story because people keep getting the wrong idea. I can prove that most of my friends threatened, harassed, and intimidated and doing some pretty desperate things themselves. But I keep getting treated like a schizophrenic for this. And the fact that the officers involved, many of them have been involved previously, and I've been prevented from having a day in court for showing evidence for speaking up for myself in court because of the mentally ill tag and how the laws are different. I needed somebody there with me the whole time.
So when you're talking about court, I don't understand what you mean. You want to go to court?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The abuse is not going to stop until I do show that in each and every one of the court dates that has been a result of Natalie's death, that it was over people's misunderstandings, over the abuse from those misunderstandings, and desperation that I had to go through to try to get someone to listen. Because no doctor can make the decisions based on the information that they have because they're not investigators. Investigators need to look at that, and instead of treating me like I'm crazy for saying it, I'm telling you I've got proof. You need to look at it. I've gone through a lot of abuse over people's bad assumptions. Sheriff DaCosta has agreed that his department here needs training in how to deal with people who are autistic and get that to happen quickly. Now, as far as your first question, I'm sorry to ramble for so long. I'll say it right now is a roof over my head here. It's not a whole bunch of people there and access to someone nearby so that I don't feel unsafe. There's a lot going on and a lot of people have got bad ideas. And usually it's the texting. I hate texting because then people get the wrong idea. A lot of people,
Absolutely.
or they get the wrong idea and then when they finally do call, they're busy with these assumptions that they had for the last 200 text messages, and you're trying to iron that out, and you're trying to go, hey, you need to stop, you need to stop.
I would agree with you.
I've lost most of my friends that way, so, and then there's the fact that I'm not good technologically, so being able to even turn in the reports that people are asking me to in the way that they're asking, I've made multiple attempts, I can prove that. I screw it up because I'm technologically inept, I can prove that. When I was unsuccessful in going to the police, I went to YouTube and Facebook to show the evidence. I was Facebook banned for a lot of stuff that, like, I posted up some pictures of, or screenshots of some threats against my life, and I got Facebook banned for 30 days for that. But because of the Rob Gaffigan isn't the only channel, there's also Sword and Scale and many other ones, and then Denver local news. We get it here.
Right.
It's it goes north flag. Everybody in this area gets Denver news.
Right.
And so a lot of these
Helen, I don't know if that's necessarily associated with family or, like you had said, the mental illness.
But it needs to not be called mental illness, it needs to be called
The autism, Asperger's,
yeah, and they tried to have me diagnosed as schizophrenic. I've got a lot of people who are willing to write down and on paper and testify in court that I'm not schizophrenic and never have been.
doctors that will say that?
Man, the doctors that I've had to deal with are mostly nursing staff who are not well equipped to handle the situation. The nursing staff that I've had to deal with are mostly drug counselor type people, and they aren't equipped to look at the evidence either. They treat me like I'm schizophrenic right from the start because the officers and the situation. That's the thing is that when you are tagged as mentally ill, and somebody does something wrong, they can use that mentally ill tag to get away with it and prevent you from showing the truth. And after that, it all falls down like dominoes after that, unless someone steps in and says stop, because nobody is going to listen. When I was younger, there was no such thing as any of that crap. There was a few situations where I was younger where there was a guy who was touching kids inappropriately, and I told on him, and they tried to have me diagnosed as schizophrenic. It didn't work. And also that guy, as I recently found out, 2 years after that, he got in trouble for doing what he did anyway. So
How old are you?
I will turn 40 on the 18th this month.
So, go ahead.
The point is that doctors dealing with who are not used to dealing with somebody who's autistic under such an extreme situation, listening to the cops, not listening to me. There are medications that I grew up on that you don't put in my body. 12 times in the last few years, I have had those injected into my body for going in under extreme duress because making hundreds upon hundreds of phone calls it's just one call after another. And they all refer you to someone else, and they're all government funded. They all get money from the government for doing a specific job. And in my situation, that is to refer it off to someone else, Everybody who asks me at this point, have you bothered to call this place or that place? I've got evidence and records of hundreds of phone calls with each and every one of them. My advocate, her name is Meg, and I can give you her information too. She is dealing with a lot of the panic attacks and meltdowns that I'm having over this.
So
They're
where,
critical.
I believe that, I totally believe that. They are crippling. It makes me not want to function day to day.
It makes me not able to function day to day, but I still have to. There's also medical limitations. My back, I'm not supposed to twist. I'm not supposed to lift anything more than 10 pounds. I personally have to do those things anyway. I can't get by without, especially being homeless. And I ended up homeless over a meltdown, over abuse. And the fact that when I had gone to the police repeatedly over this, I get the mentally ill treatment because I was talked to as alone.
What do you mean you're homeless because of a meltdown?
There was some windows up and running, and there's been some ongoing abuse that I had previously tried to take to the police here, or to the sheriff's department here, and because of what happened with Natalie, and they haven't looked at my evidence, they've only seen what's on the news and stuff like that. Like they had a very specific demeanor towards me. And although sometimes it was nice, it was also very dismissive regardless. Nobody ever looked at the evidence. And there's a lot of it. Are
you talking about Natalie or the broken windows at the low income?
I'm saying all of this comes from the same situation. The reputation to very drastic measures to try to get the abuse to stop. So to look at it. As far as my autism advocate, her issue is that she's so far away. Before Natalie died, I moved to Colorado because that's what the people that I was dealing with, like Nicole Peralta and Tamara and all that, they all, and also Brenda Davis, there's services in Colorado. So you need to work on transferring everything to Colorado. But the problem is the only safe place I had in Colorado, a reasonably safe place, was Canada's. They had recently lost a daughter. It was quite hysterical. But they're drug dealers. Ken does have a full-time job. That was still the safest place that I had. Before Natalie died, they stole my money. I was broke. I was trying to get an attorney so I could go and take care of me in court. I am disabled. My disability is documented, but the thing is, I couldn't get anyone to listen because of my disabilities now. So like, you need someone to come in with you. You have to have someone come in with you. If they're calling you mentally ill, then you have to come in with someone else who will verify that you're telling the truth. You need a friend or a family member. And I have at least 50 different officers or 50 different situations with officers where they have also, asked me, hey, do you have a guardian or a power of attorney? And no, I don't. Prior to Natalie's death, I could have handled most of it, but after Natalie's death, because of the lack of resources, because I was made homeless by Natalie's death, ever since then, I've had to take the abuse over what was on the news, over the fact that it was unchecked, over the fact that I've literally had to break the law to try to force the police to take a look. There's a lot of documentation I have from other people and their phone numbers, and you can call them and verify that these situations did actually happen. But I was legitimately afraid. There was legitimate reason for me to be afraid. So with me being afraid to talk to the police at this point, because a lot of their misunderstandings lead to me getting injected with drugs in mental hospitals. I have needed since before Natalie died and the kid to help me through all this. If we'd had a mediator of some sort in January of 2017 to stop this, all of this would have ended in 2017. But also there's the fact that because of the mentally ill tag, all people have to do is gang up on me. It's their word against mine. They're gonna protect families. They're gonna protect their fellow co-workers. And if you work for the government, you kind of gotta be paranoid for your job too.
So, I kind of want to go back a little bit to,
Yes, ma'am.
because you said you're homeless.
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been homeless?
I've been homeless, I want to say about 2 weeks.
Sorry.
Sorry about
Oh,
that.
I hit my pen on the table. I don't take it.
Well, you missed me, so sorry.
So you had said that you had a meltdown, and that was here in Chapel, and then you were living with somebody, and they kicked you out. Is that right?
No, I was living in low income here in Seattle.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
I haven't had someone literally here in person to help me with stopping the abuse here in Chapel. I've moved over 40 times since Natalie was killed. So,
Okay.
like, it's not easy. And I've had to stay with alcoholics, drug dealers, and people like that. Yeah, they're not going to go to the cops with me.
Right, right. So you were living in Malaysia when they kicked you out to the broken windows. Okay, so where have you been staying for the last 2 weeks?
I basically, I've got a horse trailer and I've got a sleeping bag that's really good too, so it helps. Like,
You own a horse trailer?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I don't have anywhere. It's my own property to park it on. I've been trying to work with my advocate to get this to do, especially when I should have had an advocate and an aid with this when I was 18. When I got overwhelmed, I shut down, or I have to deal with, well, luckily I haven't shut down. And then when I'm rambling, because I'm seriously that overwhelmed, it all sounds crazy because I'm talking too fast, because I'm trying not to have a meltdown. At that point, I'm already in a full-blown panic attack. Right now, I'm not having a meltdown, but I am having a severe panic attack. It's something that I have to call myself and manage in order to not stumble on my words or stutter, or sometimes I'll be thinking about two situations that are very related because I'm thinking of both of them. I kind of get both of those stories intermingled, which is a very difficult thing to explain to people. I'm not trying to give you the wrong impression, but these are both related situations. I'm also thinking about them simultaneously. And for somebody who is autistic, sometimes they think about multiple things at once. And when you are overwhelmed, it becomes more difficult to express it. And the more overwhelmed you are, the more difficult it is to express it. I just said basically the same thing twice in a very similar way. And a lot of other people, they say, hey, Sean, you're doing this. But then the flip side of this is that they're not autistic and they're doing the same thing. It's more of a human reaction. Also, with a lot of the things that were done to me, they happen a lot. And I repeatedly try to get to people that I know to understand, hey, they're calling me mentally ill, so the cops aren't doing anything. Like, no. Like, you're probably the smartest guy I know. You're not schizophrenic. You're just playing head games because there's no way they're going to think that. And I'm like, no, seriously, they are. That's why I need you to go in with me. Because this is how they're going to treat me. I've seen them do it to homeless people for a lot of years. I've seen them do it to people who actually are schizophrenic. I've seen them do it to people who aren't schizophrenic. I've seen them do it to people who are trying to recover from drugs. I've seen them do it to girls who are trying to tell on their dad for raping. So, I mean, there's a whole wide range. If you're called mentally ill, you're screwed, and your predator can use that to get away with it. A lot of the people that I say are my predators, not all of them, some of them are straight up predators. But with a lot of them, it's just they were manipulated by other people. And also, with a lot of them, they just had the wrong idea, or they've never seen me in such a critical situation. A guy named Chris Perth, who I tried to turn in 2018, that ultimately resulted in the situation with you. I needed Chris Perth to stop doing what he was doing, and I needed the officers to take that report. And the situation with Natalie was the whole reason all of that was happening. At this point, like, Chris Perth is still being an issue. He's threatened me on 3 different occasions. Already with other people. Yes, ma'am. He's also crossed into Cheyenne County to a farm that was at to create trouble out there and threaten, harass, and intimidate me. And the lady was trying to help me out until he showed up. That was like paradise. She's got horses, she's got cows, and our horses love me. Most animals do. But when he came out there with her long hand and was threatening my life, luckily he was staying and called his son. He came and picked me up and drove me into chapel so that Sandy didn't have to deal with that. But also, Lloyd isn't somebody who wants to talk to the police. His son isn't somebody who wants to talk to the police. And his son wasn't there for most of it.
So, is there any, so you'll be back a minute. So do you get this Social Security disability?
I do, but I need help managing money, which means that my communication abilities over the phone and texting are the worst way to do it. I would really like but I texted my phone. And when I text them, instead of us texting back and forth for hours, they'll tell me to come over at a specific time. I come over at that specific time that's structured. I don't have anxiety about it. I simply get there and we have a conversation. Whereas a lot of people are very nonchalant, or I will, but for me, not no plan. A lot of times I'll wait on people who are like, I'll be ready in a couple hours, but I'll call you. And then 2 or 3 days later, I'm like, hey, it's been longer than a couple hours, and I get this and the other, and I treat people that way back. I would never have done before.
So, have you ever had a paid leave for your disability?
No, I turned 18 and I was homeless. I had one sock, or one shoe, a pair of socks, a pair of pants, a shirt. And I was dropped off in Chapel, Nebraska with no service. And I was told that there were services, but like I said, when you go in by yourself and you're intelligent, that's where a lot of people were not understanding where this situation went south of the did. I'm like, yes, you guys know me in real life. You've known me for a lot of years. I'm having to deal with people during a critical crisis situation who've done it. And you guys are really need to come forward and say that you can do it with. You really do. Sometimes, especially with the slander against me, and a lot of my predators have been allowed to show it, but I'm not allowed to. They call me mentally ill. But then I still have the evidence that, I've been trying to present again. I've literally had to break the law to try to get that looked at because I am being accused over that situation still. I've never had anybody, I've had a few people who are willing to, but they're in places.
Fuck this goddamn country. I gotta go through hundreds of hours of recordings. I have to find internet access to go through this. I have to find a place where I can have some goddamn privacy. Who else thinks it's inappropriate that I have to go to officers I'm trying to turn in? How many of y'all think it's appropriate to, given a choice between evidence that this person is brought in, and it is right fucking there, between looking at that and locking them up like a fucking loony, which one do you think is probably the more intelligent thing to do? The laws are set up to victimize the most victimized people in America, and it's not black people. It's the disabled and the fucking homeless, even if they're black. Fuck this goddamn country and everyone in it. You only care about your own group. You don't care about anybody else. We got all these idiots from all these minority groups all wanting to jump on the BLM bandwagon. BLM is a racist fucking hate group. BLM don't give a fuck about the homeless, not unless they're black. And even then, they probably don't give a shit. But it's fine, right? Every single thing that ever happens bad in a black person's life is a white person's fault. Isn't that right? Isn't that what you're trying to sell me? Like every white person has a 2-car garage. Every white person has $1 million lawyer. Every white person. Fuck you. Let me show you some more of this fucking sexism and racism bullshit. There's a fucking lot of it. A lot. When you need help in person and you can't go to the place where you have people who are willing to help because there are safety concerns, yeah, it's a major fucking issue. Yes, the cops need to be fucking involved. Fuck the goddamn police. And then with Officer Hahn being allowed to walk away. He has the means to walk away. Now he gets to go terrorize another community and more disabled people in exactly the same way. Sheriff DeCosta let him do that. Same as he let Jordan Anderson go. And Cody Selhorst. Not before preventing me from being able to turn them in. And yes, it was absolutely DeCosta that did that. He already knew that I was trying to turn in his officers. He knew in specific I was trying to turn in Cody Selhorst and Jared Hahn. All of that should have been recorded on body cameras. See, we don't need it to be more illegal for black people. With all due respect, most of the racist crimes that I've seen in my lifetime came from black people. Not minorities, not immigrants, not Hispanics, not Native Americans, not white people, but very specifically black people. Because, see, we're pre-programmed to believe that every black person out there must be a victim. Holy hell. It's kind of like the police. They want to hurt you, so they slam you down on the ground, try to break your arm and say, stop resisting. You're not resisting. Your arm's almost fucking broke. We got a lot of black people who do that too. Call me the N-word. Call me the N-word. I dare you. I know you want to. I know you want to. Bitch, you're the one making it a fucking racist issue, you fucking cunt rag. Most of the sexism that I've seen in my lifetime comes from women. Why? Because it's socially acceptable. We owe it to women to take their abuse because of things that happened hundreds of years ago? I don't fucking think so. How about we owe it to women to take their abuse because of things that happened 100 years ago? I don't fucking think so. How about we owe it to women to take their abuse because of things that happened 50 years ago? No, I wasn't alive 50 years ago. I'm trying to get help with issues that I have to deal with today. And you're telling me that I have to sit in the back of the bus because white people owned black people in the United States of America? Sorry, I don't owe you for that. I have never owned a slave. My family has never owned slaves, at least not in this country. Now, is that to say that if we go way, way, way back, we won't find somebody in my family who owned somebody? Well, shit. Every person on planet Earth can probably trace their lineage back to both slaves and slave owners, no matter what country you're from, no matter what continent. And that includes Africa. I'm not sure how many of y'all are aware of the fact that I have my battery is about to die. I do apologize.